Hello and welcome to my channel. We are going to do some fun decorations today. We are going to do these flowers, and we are also going to use a bit of antique laces and make some fun things for the journals. So if you think that would be interesting to see, you are welcome to stay a little while and see how it ends up. So I will show you how I do these flowers, how I cut them out with my Big Shot. But you can of course just draw around some shapes and cut it out with the scissors. It's a little bit quicker this way, but everything I do you can do without special equipment or machines. So I will turn on that recording now so you can quickly see how I do, and then we can start putting these together. To make them a little bit more sturdy, I'm putting glue or matte medium or gesso or whatever you have on top of them, so they get a little bit less flimsy. Use what you have. You can use acrylic paint, some kind of medium that is getting them a little bit more sturdy. I don't think watercolor works, but some kind of craft paint or matte medium or gesso. Ordinary glue works too. It will make them a little bit more like this when they, so you can shape them a little bit if you would like that. If you want them flat as they are, you can just skip this part. But I like that feeling, so if I put them on front of a journal, or like these ones, I just have them as decoration by my bed. I like to be able to squeeze on them a little bit and shape them. And make sure to lift them while they are drying so they don't get stuck on the paper. I'm using a piece of wallpaper, so it's not so easy to get stuck to. And if you feel that they are still flimsy, just give them another layer. And paint it on the back of the flowers. This will dry transparent, but if you use glue or some color with the color, some other color than on the textile, you can just paint on the back. I have also done the same with some papers, and if you have kind of like this is just paper from books, old books that I have painted. You can do the same with that and put on some extra layers of some medium, just to make them a little bit more sturdy to use. So I will just dry these, and then I will be back. To make them a little bit more sturdy, I'm putting glue or matte medium or gesso or whatever you have on top of them, so they get a little bit less flimsy. Use what you have. You can use acrylic paint, some kind of medium that is getting them a little bit more sturdy. I don't think watercolor works, but some kind of craft paint or matte medium or gesso. Ordinary glue works too. It will make them a little bit more like this when they, so you can shape them a little bit if you would like that. If you want them flat as they are, you can just skip this part. But I like that feeling, so if I put them on front of a journal, or like these ones, I just have them as decoration by my bed. I like to be able to squeeze on them a little bit and shape them. And make sure to lift them while they are drying, so they don't get stuck on the paper. I'm using a piece of wallpaper, so it's not so easy to get stuck to. And if you feel that they are still flimsy, just give them another layer. And paint it on the back of the flowers. This will dry transparent, but if you use glue or some color with the color, some other color than on the textile, you can just paint on the back. I have also done the same with some papers, and if you have kind of like this is just paper from books, old books that I have painted. You can do the same with that and put on some extra layers of some medium, just to make them a little bit more sturdy to use. So I will just dry these and then I will be back. So let's put them together. So I'm just taking my first piece and some glue. And you can of course use both paper and textile if you would like to on your pieces, just for fun. So kind of like this one, I can put that on to my piece, and then taking another piece of textile, just make it thicker and more filled. So then I'm taking my whole bundle and use something that have a little smaller top, and then I'm just squeezing them like this, so kind of getting a shape on them. And then I'm leaving them like this so they can dry. Then I can shape them a little bit more. Really easy and beautiful to make. So let's do one without the glue, so you can see how that looks in case you want to have it in a journal. It can be easier to do them like this if you want them flat. That works too. And then you can of course use double amount. You can put 2 of these small ones. I have a one that I cut out of some lace. You can put that on top. And I'm just squeezing it a bit in the middle, and then if you want to have it in your journal you can just flat it out. Flat it out, back out, so it's not taking so much space and gets so bulky. So that was the flowers. Should we do one with paper too? dry. You can move all of them. Like that. And then we can make some with the papers. And you can of course ink them on the edges if you would like to. Now the big one is this is cut out from a double-sided eco-dyed piece. It's a little bit sturdier, but still. But if you have kind of like this and you want it to peek up a little bit, you can just use your ink and give them a little bit of color where they will be seen. And this is just some watercolor painting that was boring. So I just cut it in pieces and reusing it. So they are a little bit more rounded on the right side when you cut them out, but I like this side better, so I'm going to use that. And then I can blend it with some other. I don't need to have the same the leaves that is for this one. So let's take another color just for fun and double it up with a paper with script on. You can shape it a little bit by just moving the leaves up a little bit if you want it to be more realistic. And it's so fun when you can paint, cut these out and paint them, of course. Then you can get them in whatever color you would like to. Like that. It's easier to shape them when they have dried, so you can move them how you would like to. And these textile ones, I often, when they are dry, I sew through this and put a little pearl in the middle. That makes it even more beautiful. So I will put these aside and then we will do the next one that I have thought of. I can show you these are the same die cut, the same brand that I used for the other ones. They are not so fun to put together, you never get them. So see if we can get a colored one. So these are just some swirls also cut out in the same watercolor painting with the different blue shapes. No, different blue shades. So they are also nice to put in the journals. And I have had these are old. These I think this was one of the first die cuts I ever bought. So I hope that you can find it if you would like to. But this is mostly to give you some inspiration and ideas. So don't cry your heart out if you can't find the brand and the die cut. Go and draw the shapes and cut it out with the scissors. It works as well. So the other thing I like to do is kind of something like this. I have used the same, glued down these pieces of textile, and I have sewn in that little pearl in the middle and put a couple of rusty needles in and make sure that it rub off some rust, so you can really see that they are old. And these are from antique bed linen, but you can of course do it with your ordinary laces. Just put a couple of pieces of textile on both sides so it looks like it's really old. So you can of course do them. This is just a piece of seam binding, and I cut out the flower to have a little smaller one in the middle. So this one has the letter D on it. I'm not sure. I think it was something about have a good night, and that was kind of crocheted into the textile. So it was a Swedish word. So let's do another one so you can see how I do it. So I'm starting by gluing this down, and if you want to you can just leave it like this and have it a bit more flimsy, or you can put down the petals. And you don't need to put them flat, you can kind of shape them a little bit so it looks like they are a bit more real. They don't need to lay flat down. And you can even kind of bend them a little bit over some other petal like that. So it really looks like they are dimensional in another way. This is the best to work with textile in the journals. You can play a little bit more than if you use paper. Then I have, this was another kind of decoration piece. I think I will just use one of those. It's a little cute decoration in the middle. wasn't what I was going to do. These pieces are often double because they have sewn on the, so these pieces are often double, and that's perfect when you use needles like this. You can put them in and you don't have this the sharp piece out. You can just make sure that no one will hurt themselves by putting it in between these pieces of textile, and they are secured on the back. Did I do it again? Yes. Oh, I think it's time to go to bed maybe. Just doing a few simple embroidery stitches. Should we maybe see if we can do a French knot in the middle? If I can find the middle of the flower. I think I need to go straight through with that. like that with a couple of needles in them. So I think that will end today's session, and I hope that you find it interesting. And if you have any question or need any materials, I have lots of rusty needles still in my Etsy shop. So if you don't have any where you live, you can get them in Sweden. You maybe don't know that nowadays the needles and the safety pins and the paper clips have a coat of something that protect them from rusting. So it's really difficult to get these kind of rusty things. You don't get them to rust so easy anymore. So I'm really happy that I went on the radio a couple of years ago, and our local radio in this part of Sweden, and I asked people for old needles that doesn't have this coat, and I got answered from far away and they were sending me needles. So I have 3 cans of like this filled with needles, and even more on some papers that someone sent me. So I still can rust my needles and my safety pins, and that's really fun. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope this gave you some idea of how to make your beautiful flowers. It will take a while for these to dry, as they are filled with glue and matte medium. But you will for sure see them in my journals, so you can see how I use them. Thank you so much for watching, and see you the next time. Bye bye from Sweden.